It's a crystal ball party out in Boulder, Colorado. Buff Nation, what is going on, guys? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Hopefully, some of you guys aren't working too hard before this Thanksgiving break hits. We got some great news, as always, in Buff Nation. Talk about we got two big crystal balls coming over here from IMG. Steve Wiltfong of On3 has logged them, and I believe that we've also got some other crystal balls from other recruiting people. But y'all be sure to let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Subscribe. We're on our way to 12,000 world dominating subscriptions to David Talks Buffs. Appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get into all of the good news, shall we? So give me 1 second here. I'll pull this up. We'll share some highlights of London Merritt here soon, but you see right here the Fong Bomb. He is saying, Steve Wiltfong has logged an expert prediction for Colorado to land the 4-star Edge London Merritt. Merritt decommitted from Ohio State this morning. And, this is a fantastic decision for London Merritt. Ohio State, all the respect to them. They're a great program, but it's about time that London Merritt come to a school to play in the toughest conference in college football, right? We got to start getting that word out there. The deepest, the best conference, pound for pound in college football, the Big 12, baby. London Merritt over here from IMG, 4-star guy that, Ohio State obviously really wanted, but CU, I think, can offer a lot. And we know how unique of an opportunity it is to play here. I think that this is great. I think that this is something that we can expect London Merritt to come in and alongside, some of our younger players, Samuel Okunlola, Taj McCoy, wow, Brandon Davis Swain. So London Merritt, I think he'll be playing early once this thing is official, right? Here in another week. Is early signing day really next week, y'all? And then on top of that, we also have a crystal ball for Alexander McPherson, who's also a defensive lineman at IMG. He's got a super long wingspan. I like his motor. I like the attitude that he plays with, right? Currently committed to Oklahoma State, who we play on Friday. I don't think that he's decommitted from them yet, but you'll love to see this coming out, especially when we're playing them this week. Isn't that poetic? 1 second, guys. But I think that this is awesome. And you can see, I think he really enjoyed his visit. I assume that's him and his pops right there. So that's really cool. And yeah, you can see we're getting some more. Not only did Steve Wiltfong predict a crystal ball for London Merritt to Colorado, but he also logged one thanks here to Ralphie Run Recruiting for McPhereson to flip from Oklahoma State to Colorado as well. So, guys, if you've been following the recruiting news with the Buffs, we had a handful of IMG players come in and visit a couple weeks ago, including McPhereson, London Merritt. We had number 1 guard in the country, IMG player, Michael Carroll, who's currently committed to Alabama, visit, and Nathaniel Owusu Boateng, who is a 4-star linebacker, currently uncommitted, but has been crystal ball to Michigan, another IMG player. So that's really great to see. Brett Collegier in the 26 class from IMG, offensive lineman, works with CU buff Matt McChesney. He's going to be visiting this weekend, and I think he's already in Boulder. So that's awesome to see. The IMG pipeline to Colorado is developing. This is one thing that we really, really wanted to see, right? Getting more IMG players, Cash Cleveland, Jordan Seaton, and I absolutely love this. So if you're wondering, hey, who is this London Merritt kid? Let's go ahead and just run some highlights as I get to some of y'all's comments and all that. But hey, this is a very exciting day for CU. A lot to talk about. I'll be coming out with a video later on just a lot of the great news that Coach Prime dropped today in his press conference. But man, guys, the recruiting, it's only getting better and better. And when we're 8-3 right now. We can finish the regular season 9-3. We can, some buff luck has to happen, but we could still have multiple games left to play after this weekend, and that's really, really exciting. But you can see, guys, like the players are starting, the recruits are starting to see the vision come to fruition, and that's wonderful. The fact that we're going to be able to bring in blue chip high school recruits alongside dominating the transfer portal like we have been. We're going to do that again this year. So it's going to lay the foundation for a very special class. And I've said it, headlined by Julian Lewis. And now I think we'll get a handful of these IMG guys to come out here. This group is going to win a national championship. I firmly believe that. This group here, the class of 2025, foundational. They are going to win a national championship here for Coach Prime and our Colorado Buffaloes. So, Boykins, yes, new camera, got it set up this past weekend. Thank you for supporting the channel. These little upgrades that I do, it's only because of you guys that I'm able to do it. So thank you so much. Trying to enhance the quality of these streams. So greatly appreciate it. Does Evan Haynes flip to CU now that Mac Brown has been fired from UNC? That's a great question. Not really sure. Not really sure at all. I would love to welcome Evan Haynes to Colorado if he wants to come. You know, there's a handful of other wide receivers that I would like to see commit here that we haven't seen make that official. Quentin Gibson, right? But Evan Haynes would be definitely welcomed in this wide receiver room from my perspective. I would love to see it. Eric Morris. Oh my gosh. I mean, look how dominating the London Merritt is, man. You can line him up everywhere. Anyways, Eric Morris, we're coming for everything and everyone, and it's CU versus everybody, man. It truly is CU versus everybody. And a guy like London Merritt, this is a blue chip foundational type of recruit prospect, a guy that can absolutely change the game in one play. This is not true. This is fake news. As my friend Alex, guys, you probably recognize him. Don't give a damn. CU needs to go after trenches, more trenches. Yes. And hey, I think Steve Wiltfong posted this article saying that he feels good, obviously, about London Merritt, McPhereson, still Nathaniel Owusu Boateng. Did not mention Michael Carroll in there, so that is something to keep in mind. But also, hey, it's On3. What do they know? They don't have their CU insider anymore, so they might not have all the details, right? They might not have all the details. But if we're able to grab Michael Carroll, that's great. We're going to target the trenches in the transfer portal, I'm sure. Guys, if we're going to start a true freshman at quarterback next year, the offensive line can't be a liability. It has to be a strength of this team. Jordan Seaton's going to take another step this offseason, along with Cash Cleveland. Maybe some of these guys, Peyton Kirkland, Zach Owens, might be ready to start in the interior. We don't really know. I hope they are. Kareem Harden still has another year to get better, so that's nice. But right tackle, I have no idea what's going to happen there. So hopefully Carde Smith is somebody that ends up coming here to CU. That would be great, but I would love to get some veteran offensive linemen as well, because we have to run the football. We have to protect the quarterback if we're going to build on top of this year and be in contention next year for the Big 12 championship with a true freshman quarterback. Our trenches are going to have to be really, really freaking good. And this coaching staff knows that. You're absolutely right. Don't give a damn. TK saying they offered the safety from Carrollton High School yesterday. That is Julian Lewis's high school. So, hey, that's awesome to see. We could use some more secondary players. I believe it. Y'all be sure to smash that like, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. We got some more people jumping in here. London Merritt, Alexander McPherson, two guys on the defensive line that we've wanted to see become buffs this year. They've been crystal balled to CU, so that's awesome. I could see Evan Haynes see the error of his ways and apologize for his transgressions. The question is, does Coach Prime in Colorado want him? We'll have to find out. No doubt about it. But yeah, good for London Merritt, guys. Again, we have to start changing the narrative around the Big 12, okay? Because you saw the Kansas State coach come out. Why am I blanking on his name right now? It's not Kleiman, is it? But anyways, he came out and said, he's like, you see these SEC teams, they're rewarded for only playing 8 conference games. They're rewarded for playing Mercer and UMass here in November, while we in the Big 12, we're punished for playing conference opponents. We're punished for playing nine conference games. You're absolutely right. We like the narrative has to change. The Big 12 pound for pound is the best conference in college football from top to bottom. It's the most competitive. It's the deepest, and you're gonna see us get our respect. Believe that. And yeah, come out here, play against the best competition, play for the best program out there right now, being the University of Colorado Buffaloes, right? And yeah, we're going to be able to handle these SEC teams, man. Like we're going to be able to compete with them as well. This isn't the SEC of old, guys. This is an SEC that's filled with a lot of mid teams, and they play 8 conference games. Ohio State, they're fantastic. Oregon is great. Penn State is very good. Indiana's having an incredible year, but they're a very top-heavy conference. But believe that. I mean, Indiana playing a 9-game Big Ten schedule doesn't even have a strength of schedule within the top 100 of FBS college football. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. These players understand, man. You want to go pro, you got to play against the best. You got to play for the best. And right now, man, there's no better momentum going in our favor right now than for the Colorado Buffaloes. I love it. If Alex Graham flips, Prime won't have a corner for the 25 class, which is crazy. I know. I've been needing to put a video out about this because, yeah, I think Alex Graham is going to be going to Michigan. Looks like it. I mean, we saw some crystal balls, right? I think pop out recently that he is going to be a Michigan Wolverine. Congratulations to him. Going to be able to stay home. Guys, he was at IMG, but he did not go this year to IMG. He went back to Michigan, Detroit, I believe. And so like things change, but this has to open up another spot for us to go get a really good corner. And if there's any position that I have no worries about, it is the cornerback position with Prime being able to recruit quality. Let me pull up some Alexander McPherson highlights really quick. We can run those. Again, I love his stuff as well. Let's see what we got. Sophomore season. All right. There we go. Number 33. With this season wrapping up, the bar has been set and raised. Conference championship and national championship contention. Yeah, nothing else will do and satisfy. That's right. The standards for this program are raising and raising. That's it's still surreal to me and very, very exciting, Eric. Benson needs to hit the portal. Oh man. Well, Benson is gone after this year. I think he's out of eligibility. So yeah, we need to bring in some more offensive linemen. Again, I'm very excited to see how guys like Peyton Kirkland coming here from Texas, Zach Owens coming here from Clemson, how they're developing. They're big dudes. They're like 340, 350 pounds. I think they probably slot in more to play guard rather than tackle, but what do I know? We'll see what Phil Wildholt can do with them. I trust Phil Wildholt. How about that? How about that, Coach Prime? He made a great hire there. I believe NOB is coming, Russ, from Buffs News Weekly. Yeah, hey, guys, tune into the Buff Splits tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Mountain. It's our last one of the regular season. Russ, hopefully we can kind of keep this thing going, though, throughout the year. Maybe we kind of take a break if, with Christmas and stuff like that. But let's keep our Wednesday nights going, man. I really do like it. The only one we don't know yet is regarding Carroll in terms of these IMG guys. Brandon Davis Swain, he's a sophomore, and he will actually be a redshirt freshman because he did get his red shirt this year, I believe. So he's been suiting up for us right now in these last 4 games, and again, he'll play in the bowl game. By the way, I love hearing Coach Prime say that Shador, Shiloh, Travis, all those guys are going to play in the bowl game. I love it. Just like we saw Bo Nix and some other guys playing their bowl games last year. It's great, but hopefully we can still make it to the college football playoff. We're not out yet. We need some help. Let's see if we get that buff luck this week. But nonetheless, man, there's nothing you can hate this program for. These guys do things the right way. They have great character. They're involved in the community. They get good grades. They're disciplined. They don't get arrested. None of that stuff. They come in here and they work hard, and the program expects them to put in that work on their own on the outside. And if they don't play. Very pro style atmosphere, and that's why IMG is such a good fit for Colorado or for their players coming from IMG to Colorado. It's such a good fit because the expectations, they're just right there, man. Yeah, I was saying, the O-line has to be a strength this year. We need to get experienced, big offensive linemen and mix it in with these freshmen and sophomores. Yes. Jordan Seaton, he has been great. He'll be an anchor for us next year, no doubt about it. Hey, senior year highlights. This is a full one here from Alexander McPherson. I mean, guys, I love what we're doing. Credit to Damian Lewis. Credit to Coach Sapp. Credit to Coach Dancy. These guys are great. And I think, guys, we're going to see some fantastic continuity this year with the coaching staff. I really think so. A lot of people have been worried about Robert Livingston leaving. Maybe after last week's defensive performance, that won't be the case because they did not punt once. I don't know if you guys heard this story, but the Kansas punter's from Australia, and his parents flew in from Australia to watch him play against the Colorado Buffaloes this past weekend. And Kansas was so good that they didn't punt once. So he didn't even get on the field. That was crazy. But I think Robert Livingston sticks around for a little while. I think he came down here to Colorado from Cincinnati to get back into the college game. And I could see him wanting to be a head coach of a Power 4 program himself at some point. And so I don't see him leaving for just a run-of-the-mill head coaching job at some mid-level Division I school, or going back and being a D coordinator in the NFL. To me, again, I got no inside information, but it's just the way that I read, the interviews that I've listened to with him, stuff like that, is that he wants to be in the college game. And when you start to elevate in a team on one side of the ball and you're starting to play for national championships and get into the college football playoff, you're not normally leaving unless you're getting a really, really good opportunity as a coordinator. And that's my hope for Robert Livingston. So let's keep Pat Shurmur. Let's keep Robert Livingston. Let's keep the majority of this staff intact. A big thing, guys, right now that needs to be worked out is that Phil Woldholt, his contract expires at the end of the season. He signed a 1-year deal here with Colorado. Bet on himself. We've seen fantastic improvement from the offensive line this year. I think that just generally speaking, we've gone from the worst in college football to, probably about average in college football. That's kind of how I feel about it. And that's an elite type of progression in one season. So get more recruits, get another year working with him. I think the sky's the limit for this offensive line, but I think he's definitely earned himself a significant payday. And if I'm him, I'm commanding $1 million and up for that, for a new contract. I'll get to a few more comments here. Y'all let me know if you have any questions here. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you're bringing this up here, Marty. I know they need trenches, but we need someone to pound the rock at running back. Hey, this is funny. A little discussion we were having last night on the Discord. Some running back targets with Ollie Gordon kind of having a rougher year this year, he could come back for his senior year, enter the transfer portal. I think we all probably assume Mike Gundy's gone after this year. I would love Ollie Gordon to come out here, and he's going to get an official visit this weekend coming into Boulder. So he's going to see what we're all about. But guys, don't get me wrong. Like, I really like the group of young running backs that we have right now, but we don't have anybody to the level of Omari Miller in our backfield right now. And that's not shade on any of our running backs. We need somebody that can absolutely change the game from the running back position. Somebody like some of these running backs that we faced this year, DJ Giddens. How about that Devin Neal guy, like playing the game of his life against us? How about Cam Scattaboo, who should be in New York as a Heisman finalist ahead of Ashton Genty? I'm going to say it. He is so dynamic. Wouldn't it be so great to have an all-purpose running back that can truly take it to the house, change the game on any touch that he might get? That needs to be a priority again with a true freshman at quarterback that I expect. We'll see if we bring anybody else in through the portal, but we're not one of these schools that's going to be paying a bunch of different quarterbacks high salaries to be here. I think if we do bring in competition, it's still probably likely competition that Julian Lewis beats out. But we have to give him a solid foundation if we're going to throw out a true freshman out there. I don't care how good he is in high school. I don't like the stuff that Shador has had to deal with as an upperclassman. I would never want to put on a true freshman. Never. So let's get a solid game-changing running back. Let's continue to bolster up the offensive line. Let's, how about get a dynamic, game-changing, and NFL-bound tight end? That's a young quarterback's best friend, a tight end. Imagine having the weapons that we have outside with Traylon Miller, Cam McKell, Omari Miller. You guys know I'm forgetting people that we got right now. Jordan Onavoy. Who else we got? The freshman coming in this year. All of that. Imagine having to defend those guys and then also having a true vertical threat from the tight end position that is also a big-time blocker. That would be a beautiful thing if we can get an all-around tight end. Brett Bartolone, I think that he hasn't been working with much. Savell Smalls, doesn't really have a big set of wheels, right? But I think that this is something where you will see the offense change a little bit this year, be a little bit more young quarterback friendly, and give Julian Lewis the support that he needs. This offense, and rightfully so, plays through Shador. I think Julian Lewis will rewrite the Colorado record books. He'll have at least 3 years here at Colorado. I think he's going to be very, very good. But I am not expecting him to play anywhere near where junior and senior year Shador Sanders is playing next year. No, I'm not. Let's give him as much help as we can. I think we'll be a better team, a more well-rounded team, more talented team from top to bottom on the depth chart, on the roster, all of that. And we're going to need that, having a young quarterback who's going to have his bumps in his first year. But it's going to be really exciting to track his development. If you guys follow the NFL, like tracking the development of Caleb Williams, of Jaden Daniels, of Bo Nix, seeing like where those guys started out those first few weeks, especially. We didn't have a rookie quarterback throw a touchdown in the NFL, I think, until week 3 or 4. And to see the progression that these guys are making as the season goes on, it's fantastic. It's a lot of fun to watch, and we're going to get the pleasure to watch that next year with Julian Lewis, watch the development, and that's always a lot of fun. Yeah, that's right. Prime confirmed Travis and Shador will play in the bowl game no matter what. You love to see it. Yeah. Again, terrible culture, right? When these guys are always doing the right thing. Shador even playing in the East-West Shrine Bowl. Well, at least practice for the week, helping these guys, helping his teammates. I love it, man. I love it. let's hope the New York Giants get Shador Sanders, man. Put him with Malik Neighbors, baby. But I know that most of y'all want him to go to the Raiders. I'll leave that for another video. Leave the arrest of Kirby Smart in Georgia, as I like to call him, Kirby Dumb. Kirby Dumb in Georgia. Yeah, Seton showed the blueprint for other IMG prospects that are looking at CU. You're absolutely right about this. Don't give a damn. He is, he's fantastic, and he has shown that, hey, if you're about it, you're going to be able to play. And I think Cash Cleveland's situation really helps them too. It doesn't matter what your star rating is, or lack thereof one, like in Cash Cleveland's sense. The best players will play. The best players will play. There's no favoritism. Notice the people who always call out favoritism, it's only because those guys just don't play. They never feel like they play enough or whatever. It's always the coach's fault that they never got their shot. No, at the end of the day, you just weren't good enough, man, or you didn't earn the coach's trust. If you earn the coach's trust and you do the right things, you're going to play here. And how about Cash Cleveland, man? He had one offer coming out of high school to Georgia Tech, and he said, nah, I'm going to walk on at Colorado. Wow. And credit for Jordan Seton for, plugging him, putting that in the coach's ear, saying, guys, bring Cash Cleveland here. I would hope that Cash Cleveland is awarded a scholarship spot before the end of the season. I think that would be a really cool thing to publicize. Obviously, it would probably bring a tear to my eye, like those sorts of things. Like, I love it when walk-ons get their scholarships, like true Hall of Fame walk-ons, right? Not just any walk-ons, guys who have earned it, right? Guys who, have been about it and they don't make excuses. Not guys who have just been walk-ons for 5 years and got no stats. Nothing like that. No, these guys are actually about it and actually get on the field, and they don't make excuses for who's ahead of them on the depth chart. Like Cash Cleveland. I mean, he's just a hard worker. He's a great guy. Maybe a future team captain at some point, right? I love it. TK saying Will Holt will resign. Hopefully, man. That's I love that you're confident in that. I want to be confident in that as well. And I think, hey, this year we're playing with house money. I think once we kind of hit that 8 wins, man, like amazing. And I think you'll see people choose to stay here because of what we're building here. Obviously, and this isn't just true to Colorado, it's just in general. Like, if you're going to have losing season after losing season, there's just always going to be more turnover with coaching staffs. But I think that this was a fantastic rebuilding year for Colorado, which is fun, and we're still in it for the conference championship. We'll see how it all plays out, but just an incredible year. We have so much to be proud of with how this season has gone. No doubt about it. Hey, John Teal, really appreciate the cup of coffee, the $2 super chat. Also, shout out to you for being an official member of Buff Buddies. That's right, my paid membership. I think we have 9 members now. John is one of the most recent ones. And yeah, it's $5 a month. You get some cool emojis, South Park Cartman, Peggy, Coach Prime, got, Chip, got a few of those. So there are little perks. And I post a video or 2 a week for members only. Just want to make sure that you guys get your money's worth. It really does help the channel. And again, I'm able to make some upgrades, like this really nice camera lens that I finally got, and it means a lot to have your support. Now, with that being said, John says, any news on the offensive lineman committed to Alabama? Michael Carroll, not yet. Things have been very, very quiet. I think Alabama fans are pretty nervous, especially with how they've been playing down the stretch, right? It is a little scary. It is a little scary for them. And again, taking that Alabama job, man, falling in the shadow of Nick Saban is no joke. I think as long as Alabama fans can understand that this is a new era of college football, there's going to be a little bit more parity because you can't just pay players under the table anymore, stuff like that. You're not going to have these absolutely dominant teams moving forward, dynasties like that. I just don't think you'll see it as much. if they can remain somewhat patient, I think Kalen DeBoer is going to do a really good job at Alabama. But um, this has not been up to the expectation that it is there for Alabama. It's up there with Ohio State, right? It is national championship or bust. Same for Georgia. And Ohio State might have the best finish to all those programs I just mentioned, but we'll have to see. But right now, I feel very confident, especially if we're seeing that Alexander McPherson, if we're seeing that London Merritt, these other IMG players are going to end up as buffs. We'll see about Nathaniel Owusu Boateng. I feel good about him. But if all of his teammates are coming out here, that has to bode well for Michael Carroll eventually making a potential flip as well. What's really exciting is that we don't have to wait a very long time. We'll know here in about a week. Next Wednesday, right? We'll kind of know who is who, as long as they don't lose internet access. As long as they don't lose internet access, I really do. Jordan Seaton, if you one, you should never watch these videos. What are you doing wasting your time watching little me on here? But if you ever tune in and see this, at some point, dude, you got to tell what really happened. Because we all know you didn't lose your internet, man. It's 2024. At that time, it was 2023. You got 5G. You're not losing your internet anywhere. I want to know the real story. Hey, what's going on, Northside? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, we got to pay these coaches. I'm due for a donation here to the Buff Club for sure, because, yeah, we need to expand not only Coach Prime's contract and make him the highest paid coach in college football, but also the salary pool for the assistants needs to be expanded as well. All these guys deserve raises. They deserve to be paid. And yeah, we need more money for a new kicker too. So sorry, Mata. I'm more so talking about kickoffs right now and a guy who can make 50-yard field goals. I still like Mata. Hey, Shirley, how are you doing? Hope you're doing great. Pop Lodi, hope you're doing well. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Don't give a damn. Cash Cleveland needs to bulk up. Yeah, as I have said, man, I still feel like he's got a little bit of baby fat on him, man. Like, that's why I was just not expecting to see him at all this year. Like, when you see him in the videos, I'm just like, man, like, he just kind of looks like a little kid, Now, I was a late bloomer too, dude. I couldn't grow a beard until I was like 26, man. So until then, I had like a blank, just a baby face. So I understand it, but he's got to hit the weight room. No doubt he will. And we'll get him beefed up, ready to go. The fact that he's holding his own right now as a true freshman is, it doesn't get any better than that. Doesn't get any better than that. I'm so happy for him. And one of the best stories of the year. I look forward to seeing it highlighted in the Coach Prime Amazon show. This Amazon show is going to be way more fun to watch than last year's. Last one was kind of tough, man, going down that losing streak. But man, it's different this year. Cash reminds me of Rudy from the Rudy movie. Oh man, so funny. Well, I got some strong words for Rudy, but one of the main differences is that, yes, there are some similarities, right? They'll never give up, hard worker. The difference is that Cash Cleveland's actually good at football, right? And that's why Cash Cleveland and Charlie Offerdahl, they deserve their own movie. True Hall of Fame walk-ons, man. Both should be getting scholarships. I know Charlie already has his, but that's the difference, man. Cash is actually good at football. Evan Haynes, he's a 6'3" wide receiver. Let's say he's either from Texas or Tennessee. He's from Georgia. Here we go. Let me pull this up right now. So he visited out here in like over the summer or early in the fall. I can't remember. We'll find out. But he committed to North Carolina. Shout out to Guru. Guru gave us the heads up before it happened. But Mac Brown's been fired now. Has he been fired from North Carolina twice now? I don't know if he resigned the first time before he went to Texas. But anyways, what the heck, man? when you hire Mac Brown, that's like a legacy type of thing. But you can see like Colorado's been up here, 6'3" wide receiver, 86 overall from Roswell, Georgia. He's from Fellowship Christian School. And let's see, yeah, he visited over the summer, June 21st. So I think he might have been, I think we were like 80% or something like that on the guys who ended up visiting that weekend. But Evan Haynes was one of the few guys that ended up committing elsewhere. I think Julian Lewis was there that weekend as well, and obviously didn't change anything until recently. But Farrakhan, Quanell Farrakhan Jr., he committed. We had another wide receiver that ended up committing, if I remember correctly. Well, I guess that was later on. Yeah, Adrian Wilson. Oh, yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting, guys. We got Chauncey Gooden already coming in here at guard. So, yeah, 6'4", 320-pound high schooler. Are you kidding me? So, we'll see what shakes out from the offensive line, but we're bringing in just a different caliber of athlete compared to 2 years ago. Christian Hudson, he's going to be fun to watch his development on the D-line. Again, Alex Graham right now is still committed to Colorado, but I would expect him to go to Michigan, which would bring our commitment list. Let's say we get, once it's official with McPhereson, London Merritt, we go up to 13 total commits, and you take away Graham, so that goes to 12. Mantrez Walker, man, I love to see how active he is on Twitter, on social media, recruiting. I can't wait to see him in the black and gold. Antonio Branch Jr., a South Florida guy, 6'2" safety. Love that type of size from Miami, Florida. And then we got an in-state Zane D'Souza, a Matt McChesney guy. Love it. Tight end from Loveland. I don't know if he's a guy that plays immediately, but you never want to say straight up that this guy doesn't have a chance to play, because Coach Prime has demonstrated that we're not recruiting you from high school unless we believe you can play early. Now, I don't know if early means immediately, but early as in your first, second year, yeah. Zane D'Souza, he very well could develop into that tight end that we're all begging for, no doubt about it, along with Corbin Lejour, 6'5" tight end from Tennessee. But yeah, you can see Zane D'Souza, he's already got that size, 6'6", 260 that you want to see from your starting tight end. Very intriguing prospect, number 3 in the state of Colorado. And then lastly, Jay Gardenhire. He, in my opinion, he's a little bit more of a developmental offensive tackle, 6'8", 350, from West Bloomfield, Michigan, moved from New Jersey to play his last year of high school football over at West Bloomfield. Just a more nationally recognized program out there, better program from where he was playing at in New Jersey. We'll see. I hope that he still sticks around and ends up signing next week, because you can never have too many offensive linemen, and this guy's a Coach Oldholt guy. So I trust Coach Oldholt, and I want to see Jay Gardenhire here. There are a few other guys that I would expect to come out here, like Carday Smith. Maybe we can get the calculator open here. That'd be kind of fun if you want to take a look at this, and I'll get to a few more of your comments. I'll probably go for, about an hour total here on the show, but let's say we add Carday Smith. I mean, I'm feeling good about him. He's been crystal balled here to Colorado. Then we add Alexander McPherson. Then we add, let's see, London Merritt. So we add all these guys. We go from 176 to 208.40. And yeah, so you can see Carday Smith, 4-star, London Merritt, 4-star. I believe this is all from the composite rankings. So it's not just 24/7, but it's like everybody together. And then let's say, man, we grab, well, let's do this experiment first. Let's go back to Colorado. Let's take a look at where we're at right now. So right now we're at like 66. So like a 208, that would bring us to right above Kansas State for number 34 in the nation. That's awesome. Right behind Baylor. And let's say we do pull off what we're all hoping to, get Michael Carroll as well. And let's say we add Quentin Gibson. Got to add him. We're at 228.94. So just for high school, that puts us in at number 24, ahead of South Carolina, right behind TCU. And that should put us in at, top in the Big 12. So right behind TCU. So that's very, very exciting. Love to see that. That's just high school. And you guys know we'll probably have a top one or two recruiting class in the transfer portal. So I think, again, take this all with a grain of salt. As we know, these sites love to drop rankings or ratings of our players once they commit to us. But I still think that, regardless, even though none of this stuff is perfect or anything like that, it's just a few people's opinions. It's cool to see us. I think we'll end up in the top 20, maybe even the top 15 or higher, depending on how the transfer portal goes. So, the fact that we could have a top 25 high school class with, about 15 guys, 15, 16, 17 guys here, is fantastic. It's truly quality over quantity. And I that's the way to go in the new era of college football. Again, we're not a blue blood, we're a new blood. We're a new blood in college football. We're changing how everything's done. I'm glad to see that people are realizing that, hey, the transfer portal is a real way to build a program in college football again. Like Coach Prime being somebody who's just always walked with conviction and done things his own way, has been different. I'm so glad we don't have to talk anymore about his lack of in-home visits and stuff like that. And all that, like, the proof is in the pudding here. Like, he's able to get the guys, I feel like, that he wants, more so than most college coaches doing what he's doing. He's done great. Nobody ever shoots, 100%, but I think his batting average, whatever it is, it's well above the mean, which is, great to see. Yeah, this is the new era, deals wholesale, no doubt about it. Oh, TK, thank you for bringing this up. I think CU will target Malachi Coleman for our big wide receiver. Malachi Coleman, hey, I would love to see him back here. Now, I know we normally don't take guys that commit to other schools at first, right? But you guys have started to change my mind. I'm never truly married to all these ideas that I might have, except this. I am not a fan of short quarterbacks, man. Y'all know that. I don't like short quarterbacks. I can deal with somebody that's 6 feet and above. I prefer my quarterback to be 6'2" and above. But Julian Lewis, I'll make an exception, for, right. But in regards to this, if you look over our program, you go somewhere else, then we're done with you. Yeah, I think that's ultimately a good thing to do. But I'm kind of warming up to Bear Alexander. Bear, never loafing Alexander. Think about that. I kind of like that. If he's a good fit, if he wants to be here, as well as Malachi Coleman. I think that, um, went to Nebraska. Of course, his adopted parents are Cornhuskers. He's from there in Lincoln and wanted to stay home. I think that's all great. Like, he's an incredible kid. I guess young man. Let me correct myself. And I would, I would love to see him out here. He's entered the transfer portal. Very, very intriguing. Let's pull up his recruiting profile really quick, because I don't really think he played much this year, but he has entered the transfer portal and he's going to be a top target. No doubt about it. Let me find my StreamYard. But I'm glad you're bringing this up, TK, because you can never have enough just tall trees out there. We got Omari and Miller, right? Oh, how could I forget Cordell Russell? I knew I was forgetting somebody from earlier. These guys are what, 6'4", 6'5"? Malachi Coleman, 6'5". This is great. 210 pounds. He was the number 11 wide receiver in last year's class. He's, yeah, a big time athlete. It would also just mean a lot to grab somebody from Lincoln, to grab somebody that was a former Cornhusker. I think that's always funny. And if we can't continue the rivalry right now in the out of conference play, which I desperately want, but we're not slated to play each other, I think, for another 7 years right now. We need to continue the rivalry, at least in recruiting. Like, as much as I would love to see Nebraska come back to the strongest conference in college football, play in the Big 12, you can't say no to the Big 10 money right now. We would do the same thing. But man, I would really love to see this thing with Nebraska be a yearly thing. But yeah, number 1 player in Nebraska, 96 rated player. And now as we get into the transfer portal, I mean, there's only 3 players right now here, according to 24/7. Well, I guess we got more. Okay. But Malachi Coleman is rated the number 3 player. Very interesting. Jaheim Otis, was that the guy that said, "Want to see my horse," from Alabama? If so, let's be sure to bring him in for a visit. We need some dogs on the defensive line out here. Jonte Cook, he's a guy that I think was expecting to have a much larger role in the offense. You can never have enough good wide receivers, right? Matthew Sluka, hey, I think it would be cool seeing him come out here to Boulder to compete with Julian Lewis, but you imagine he might get upset if he's not playing. So maybe that's not a good decision. Oh no, this was the guy. Coat. Want to see my horse. That was yeah. Red Hibbler. How about that last name? Hibbler. Okay. Oh, I've seen some people talk about this guy, Thomas Constellanos from Boston College, quarterback, entering the transfer portal. Guys, I'm just going to say no. The guy's 5'9", a 5'9" quarterback. Guys, Noah Fafita is 5'10", and he looks tiny out there. I'm pretty sure that Mata is 5'10". You cannot have a guy behind center who is shorter than Mata. Now, maybe he's just that elite, maybe, but how do you see over the line? How do you see over the line? How do you do it? I feel like the offense would need to totally change with a guy like that behind center, and that's the one thing I don't want. I don't want the offense to have to change much from going from one quarterback to the next if we're dealing with injury. No. Let me pull up Malachi Coleman's stats this year. And guys, again, thank you so much. As I'm pulling this up, please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't done it yet. We're on our way to world domination, 12,000 subs. Okay, so he's gotten on the field a little bit. 8 receptions, 139 yards. Okay. Oh, I guess he didn't. That's right. He's been there 2 years now. He's a sophomore. Man, I thought that he was last year, but that's right. This was one of our first targets when Coach Prime took over. So he played last year. 8 receptions, 139 yards, 1 touchdown. Hasn't played at all this season. Wow. So, yeah, what's going on in Nebraska? Now, I do know Nebraska's wide receivers coach is like straight up like 24 years old or something like that. It's pretty crazy. Or like 21. I forget. He's like super young. I don't know, man. Yeah, that's crazy that he didn't play at all this year. So, sounds like a change of scenery is needed for him. And hey, why not Boulder? I think that would be pretty cool. I want to go back to taking a look at this transfer portal stuff though, just to see who else is kind of entered here. Xavier Townsend. I remember playing him, or I remember when the Buffs played him. I didn't play him. Jalen Glover's a guy to keep an eye on from the running back position. I think while I don't think he's at the level of like a Cam Scadaboo or something like that, I do think that he's a quality back. Yeah. CJ Hurd over at safety. FAU. You guys know the Wester boys came out here. They've had fantastic seasons. So maybe he sees that, comes out here, and follows in their footsteps. I think that would be a lot of fun. Let's see what else we got. Michael Allen, he was a guy that left just like Sluka did at the beginning of the season. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know many of these guys, but if you have a guy that pops up here on this list, on this transfer portal list, let me know, and we can look into him a little bit. But yeah, we got a few running backs. Rocco Griffin from out here in San Antonio at UTSA has entered, and LaShawn Williams, running back from Iowa. Iowa is like a running back pretty much. You know, they put it out a lot of great players, a lot of great tight ends, offensive linemen, running backs into the NFL. So maybe he's a guy that we look into. Let's see what you guys got to say. What you got for me? Dave, we need a tight end coach. Bart is not a good tight end coach. I just don't know if he's got any good tight ends here. Like, to be frank with you, we'll see what Morgan Pearson can become, but Savell Smalls was kind of tight end by default. I'm willing to give him one more year with like a real tight end. Yeah, Jonte Cook, man, he would be a lot of fun, Phoenix. Boateng puts us at 17. So if we get all those guys I went through, that's 17, top 25 high school class. Chef's kiss. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, can we get ourselves a Devin Neal, right? That's what we need. Like, I don't want us to settle at the running back position. And yeah, could our running backs have been better this year if we had better offensive line play? Like, no doubt about it. But still, like, you guys see how Devin Neal, how DJ Gins, how Cam Scadaboo, how some of these running backs, RJ Harvey, how all these guys are just a threat to make a huge play every time they touch the ball. Athletically, they're just they're on a totally different level. I don't think right now we have anybody that's like those guys that I just mentioned. So I would love for this to be a top target in the portal this year. No doubt about it. Yeah, year two, Michael Welsh could make some noise. I agree with you. Like, we haven't seen him reach his ceiling yet, by no means. But I would love us to have maybe 3-4 guys that are like just ballers. But I'm with you, AG Warren. Michael Welsh could take another substantial work this year. Jump this year, rather. But Dave, I want a wide receiver that can attack the ball in the air because Will Shepherd could attack the ball. You're absolutely right. Omari Miller does the same thing as well. We'll see Cordell Russell next year. I don't think he'll jump in the portal, but I hope he sticks around, recovering from injury for the most part this year. And hopefully he can get that medical red shirt. I would imagine that's the plan with him, to keep his eligibility, get him a medical red shirt. And that's what I love about going after these tall wide receivers, man. They're huge threats in the red zone and corners. It's very rare you see a corner that's 6'3" and above. So you'll always have that height advantage too. And like Jonte Cook would be great. Like, we'll need some of those speedster guys to kind of fill those Jimmy Horn, LeJonte Wester roles. That's great. But we also just need some guys that can really high point the ball, get after it, win those contested catches, the Travis Hunters, the Omari Millers, the Will Shepherds, all of that. We're going to have any type of wide receiver out there, that's possible. We'll have at least one of those types, hopefully multiple of every single type. And hey, why not? Why not kick the tires on somebody like Malachi Coleman, man? Let's see what he can do. Dude, I might have to shut down my channel if we bring in a 5'9" quarterback. Like, I'm going to be honest, man. Like, put yourself in the shoes of a player on a team that's being let out the tunnel by a guy who's 5'9"? Like, you're really gonna feel like you're gonna be going into battle and, your leader is a guy who's 5'9"? Really? Like, nah, we're not gonna do that. Or like, how can you be the leader of a team when you're 5'9"? I'm gonna upset a lot of short people on this stream. I'm sorry, man, but size does matter, man. This is almost professional sports, man. A 5'9" quarterback, a 5'9" quarterback. Now Dylan Gabriel, um, Kyler Murray, these guys were amazing at 5'10" in college football, right? Doug Flutie, right? No, man, we're talking about 5'9". This guy's shorter than even those guys. And those guys are exceptions to just the norm. Man, that would be crazy. I might have a stroke if we bring in a guy who's 5'9" at the quarterback position and truly saying, I mean, that's got to be a meme, right? It's got to be a meme. No, the Tulane quarterback is not, Mensa is not short. He's 6'3", I believe. So, yeah, let me look that up. 6'3", I want to say. Yeah, 6'3", 200. So, yeah, Mensa's got great size. I know that a lot of y'all would like us to target him. I just don't see it happening. I think that he'll probably be one of the top targets in the transfer portal this year. And if we're, yeah, but I mean, I would love to see it. Like, don't get me wrong. I'll never say no to any high end talent like that coming into the transfer portal. But I just imagine right now that we're going to build this thing around Julian Lewis. I think that was the selling point for part of this program. Malachi with Juju. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, man. I think that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, Malachi's parents screwed him over. Bad parents. Now, Malachi, you got to take control of your own career, right? And go where you should have gone the whole time, just, down the road to Boulder, Colorado, right? I wish CU could spend like Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, that money on O-line and D-line, and then do like the league average on skill positions if they have the resources. Yeah. Yeah. And that's usually the plan, like in the NFL, especially as well, where it's like you just want to dominate those trenches. And then, like the Steelers, for instance, they're so good at finding these late round wide receivers. Like who's the next great late round wide receiver they have now? It's Calvin Austin, and kind of taking that bargain approach. But they're still able to develop their wide receivers like crazy. Like George Pickens wasn't even a first round pick. A lot of people forget that. But the trenches have to be most important. Case and Wiseman just entered the portal again. Hey, when I went to the UTSA FAU game, he was right there on the sitting right in front of me, man. So I think he was the number 2 quarterback at FAU. So their starter, I think, was an upperclassman. But hey, best of luck to Case and Wiseman. I hope that he can just, find a school where he can play. Like at the end of the day, man, that's, you only have a finite time to play football, especially, right? Like, so you might as well go someplace where you can play no matter what level it's at. TK, you're saying CJ Hurd is like a Cameron Solomon Craig? Well, then I'm sold. I'm sold. Cameron Solomon Craig's one of my favorite buffs. That's why I got his jersey. Jakeem Stewart, I want him to commit to CU. Let me pull him up. Oh, this guy just crystal ball? No, I guess he wasn't, to Ohio State. But man, he's got all the big programs: Ohio State, USC, LSU, Oregon. 6'6" defensive lineman, 270 already. He's as my good friend Rawhide says, a Louisianimal out there from New Orleans, Louisiana. Number 2 prospect in Louisiana. Number 9 or number 3 defensive lineman in the composite overall. Yes, please. Yes, please. Sounds great to me. Sounds fun to me. Yeah, Love and Liberty. I'll say this. When Hayden leaves, we're gonna have a great run game. Man, you guys are uh you guys are ruthless, man. I will say, I think our best two running backs right now have been Isaiah and Micah, and maybe that Kansas game turns out a little bit different if Isaiah stays healthy, right? But yeah, like Hayden's vision, I think, has just been a little inconsistent this year. Augustave is skillful, averaging 4.5 yards per carry, but we need an enforcer like Neal to complement him. James Davis and CJ Spiller at Clemson. Oh yeah, yeah, that's a really good idea right there. 11 Liberty. Yeah, having two guys that are just absolute threats with the ball. I mean, wouldn't it be nice? Speaking of Clemson, to have like a Travis Etienne type weapon out here? Man, man, that would feed a lot of families. Let's see here. Well, I think Cordell Russell has been hurt, so hopefully we can see him do well in spring ball this year. Yeah, other schools just wasting money. CU does stuff different. That's right. That's right. No doubt about it. Let's see what else we got here, and I'm gonna wrap this thing up. Google plus Microsoft plus South Park. Should be a lot of money, right? That we should be able to raise. Absolutely. Right there. That's our NIL, that's our collective, that's our boosters right there. Mainly South Park. But we do have, yeah, aerospace, defense, all those companies are out here. Yeah, the more lawyer and MBA money than they would ever need. You're absolutely right. We have a great science program, engineering program at CU, law school. I got my MBA from the University of Colorado. Now I'm not one of these big, tech guru, entrepreneur, MBA guys. No, that's just not me. But I contribute in some other ways, as you can see, to Buff Nation, right? Oh man. All right. So guys, I'm gonna close this down, I think. Let's see here. Hey Dave, how would schools manage not having 160 players on the roster? Man, I don't even know. I don't even know what some of these teams are going to do. Thankfully, I think we'll have a pretty easy transition over here with the Buffs with that, because we got around probably 100 players, maybe a little over 100 players on the roster. So we shouldn't have much issue with that roster cap. That I don't know if that's official yet for 2025, but hopefully it will be finalized here soon, as the revenue sharing seems to be finalized. So yeah, it's going to be great, having all that stuff figured out, and don't have to worry about scholarship or walk on, anything like that. Everybody should be on scholarship, which I think will be great. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back with the show later today, more so talking about current uh, stuff for CU regarding what Coach Prime stated in his press conference today, getting ready for Oklahoma State, all of that. Again, guys, if do want to help out the stream, liking and subscribing, commenting on the replay, it helps out a ton. And I do want to hear y'all's thoughts on like all this. So thank you guys for sticking with me, the support over the close to 2 years we've been doing this. You guys are what makes this a lot of fun, and it's why Buff Nation is the best college fan base, especially on YouTube. We got more content than you could imagine, more than all these other blue blood programs. Following Colorado is the best place, is the best thing to do, the best place to do it on YouTube, no doubt about it. And it means a lot that you would spend some time with me when there are so many other great creators that put out a fantastic Buffs content. So guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys as always. Go Buffs.